Kung Fu Portwood, Deadbeat Portwood. I think I'm gonna start calling her Deadbeat Portwood. So shout out to the Ashley's reality roundup for this, okay? Amber has been on a roll with the TikTok live videos, right? She's just ranting and raving about everything she can. And I feel like we've done a couple of stories about it. I know we talked about something else yesterday, but I can't even remember what it was. So if you guys were here for yesterday's morning report, please do not hesitate to remind me about what we were talking about yesterday. But we were, the last one that I remember, it was about the fact that, she was talking down on her daughter's trauma. She said, Leah, she's exaggerating. She acts like she's been through it, this and that. She hasn't seen anything. She doesn't know real trauma. She doesn't know real problems. I do, right? So it's just her thing these days. We haven't been seeing her on Teen Mom Next Chapter or anything like that. And now I am finding out that the reason why that, first of all, Amber Portwood is not going to be featured on the reunion, or you know what, maybe she'll be doing a Zoom call or anything or something like that. However, Amber Portwood, according to sources over at the Ashley, which we'll get into their direct quotes later, she was not there on the set, and it's specifically because her, or should I say Christina's daughter, Leah Shirley, did not want her to be there. She said that she would be uncomfortable, allegedly, if Deadbeat Portwood was over there at the reunion. And so ultimately, the production team made the call to choose Leah over Amber. And I think that that is what is setting Amber off, because she has just been on it with all of these back-to-back TikTok live meltdowns. So on Monday's TikTok rant, she was saying that she is going to do everything she can to get Teen Mom Next Chapter canceled. And she feels as though the show is preventing her from reuniting with her estranged daughter, Leah, who she's only contacted about 4 times within the span of the last 365 days. Quote, if the show isn't canceled, I'll get it canceled. The ball is already in my court, honey. I promise that. All right, girl. Good luck with that. Good freaking luck, right? And so the Ashley reached out to her sources to see if that is, actually happening, if Amber really has gotten the ball rolling and it's working, getting Teen Mom canceled. And they told her that that is not the case. There's, quote, we are currently on hiatus, and of course there's never a guarantee that we'll be picked back up again, but we've heard absolutely nothing about it being canceled, so I have no clue what she means. Also, Amber thinking that she could have any power to cancel the show is ridiculous. To my knowledge, she has not been officially let go though, but she's basically asking to be fired, so it's doubtful she will continue on. Now you've got production against you, Amber. And here's the thing, what does Amber have going for herself in case the show actually does get canceled, right? Like, so far this season, we've only seen her in 1 episode, but that's 1 episode that she's paid for. And if this show gets canceled, mind you, these are reality stars. They do not have residual checks, royalties, whatever. If this show is canceled, it's canceled and there's no more money. Does she have an education that she could put to use for in the job market? No, she tried studying Pig Latin for a whole week. I don't know how marketable of a skill that is. Does she have any work experience? None that I personally know of. Perhaps you guys are more up to date on her working experience, but I can't think of anything. So I do think that this is something that she needs, and she's just too prideful over the fact that now her daughter is able to use her own voice, and be heard, right? When she's saying that she wants nothing to do with this woman. And instead of taking a look at herself and what she's done to contribute to this, to cause this, she is blaming it on the show, and she is calling her daughter a liar and an exaggerator. So is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know what she's going to be able to do to replace her teen mom income. Granted, she bought her home in cash. So, so long as she lives kind of like a modest life, she should be okay, even with a job that doesn't pay an awful lot of money. But that's the thing. Is Amber even capable of working any kind of a job? I don't know. I don't think she's got the temperament. I think she thinks that she's above any kind of work. I don't know. I do remember her trying to launch that clothing line. Do y'all remember that? Forever Oats. She had that. And then she had Portwood AF, right? The screen printed t-shirts or something like that, but nothing really all that concrete in terms of actual full-blown working experience. And so I really do wonder what she's thinking is going to happen to her if the show were to get canceled. And in fact, I think that she only wants it to get canceled to shut off Leah's voice from the public sphere, because it's through the show that Leah is able to say, hey, listen, F that B. I don't mess with her. She is a deadbeat. She hasn't called me. She doesn't reach out to me. She always picks men above me. I don't want anything to do with her. I've got a real mom. Her name is Christina, and I want to be adopted by Christina. Amber hates that Leah is able to say that on TV, right? And on top of that, Leah's making money from the show. Gary's making money from the show. And since she is avoiding filming so far this season, she's not really making money from the show like that. And so I think that's another thing. She doesn't want to see them continue to make money while she's not making any money. And so now that she sees, like, holy cow, my daughter is actually able to call the shots in some capacity. Like, I, the star, because Amber always said that she's the one who created the show, right? She's the star. And yet she was blocked from the reunion because of her daughter. That is crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. And I think that it is killing her ego-wise. Amy says that Leah is more mature than her. Thank goodness for Gary and Christina. I completely agree. Malen says, I hope they drop Amber, continue with Leah and Christina and Gary. She thinks she is irreplaceable. Exactly, right? Jennifer says Amber only goes around Leah when she has a man, right? When she has a man and when the cameras are up. She only wants to do the whole I'm a good mom shtick whenever she has a man, and she only wants to make money through these interactions as well. Courtney says she gets the show canceled and that takes income from Gary literally hurting. Exactly. And she is willing to burn it all down to the ground if just to spite her daughter and just to spite her baby daddy as well. And I find that to be absolutely insane. Granted, I do think that Gary and Christina and Leah should bow out of the show, because Gary and Christina's storyline, I think it's damaging to Leah. And you guys already know that from my recaps and whatnot. But I just hate that Amber wants to be the one to shut it down. I want for them to be the ones to do that on their own volition, right? So Shannon's asking who in the right mind would want to hire. Exactly. That's the thing. Like, with the reputation that she's built, right, of violence, of anger issues, all this stuff, it's so Googleable that I don't know how she's going to be hired anywhere. But you know what? At the same time, look at Ryan, the way he destroyed his own family's house, the way he was known as the guy who ran around, shooting stray cats in the neighborhood and stuff. And he somehow still always has a job. And he's known as like the guy who drives while high on heroin. And he's working with cars and stuff like that. So you listen. Maybe if Amber also gets into the trades or something like that, where there's a shortage of labor, like she can get away with whatever she's been up to. But I don't know. Good luck to her. Good luck. I don't think she's thinking this through. I really don't. Theo, I was wondering where you were when I was doing my roll call. I said, where's Theo? Where's Allie? Nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. No, I was actually just talking about you with Campfire, because I was telling him about your comment about his Discord. He's like, oh, Theo is the best. He's always helping people over on the Discord. So shout out to you, Theo. AJ says that Amber needs an exorcism. Listen, I could not agree anymore. Just the cognitive dissonance with that girl is absolutely insane. It really, really is. I wish that she would take a step back and look at the way that she's been handling the situation and why her daughter feels the way that she feels. So a second source did talk to the Ashley's reality roundup, saying that removing Amber from the cast could actually potentially be in the works for the future, because of the fact that she wasn't even invited to the reunion for this season that was already filmed in January. Quote, Gary and Leah were there, but Amber was not invited. She didn't decline to go. She was not asked to go. And it wasn't that Gary didn't want Amber there, although I wouldn't blame him considering the horrible things she accused him of. It was actually Leah who didn't want Amber there. She wouldn't have been able to open if Amber had been to be open if Amber had been there, although it doesn't always seem like it. Production will always protect or give priority to the kids' needs over the other cast members. Listen, I'm really, 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 really happy for Leah that they took into account her her feelings, and that she was heard and that she was prioritized. Because I really do think that she needs that. It still breaks my heart the way that she was talking about her abandonment issues and stuff. And I feel like, these sorts of little shows of validation and love and care and protection are really, really important to her. And so I just, I'm really thrilled for her, and I want nothing but more of that in her life and future forever. They can say, how dare the daughter that gave her money and power through this show for more than a decade start to have her own voice? That's exactly it, right? Like the ego, the freaking ego on this woman is absolutely out of control. It truly, truly is. But here's the thing. Although she was not allowed to be there physically, I do still suspect that potentially they could have invited her to go ahead and do either a pre or post taped interview one-on-one with Dr. Drew, or maybe a Skype in thing from after or later on that gets stitched in. However, I don't know that I don't know that she personally would have agreed to that, because, if she's finding out she's not invited to the reunion, why do you think, you know what I mean? Like, would she actually do that? Like, she'd probably be like, well, hell no, you didn't choose me, so get the hell out of my face. I'm not contributing a single thing to you guys, right? So I don't know. Jennifer says that in the upcoming episode, they showed Leah receiving a note from Amber. I bet it was a guilt trip. Ooh, I wouldn't be surprised. That is some scary stuff. I didn't see it in the preview. So I'm going to have to go back and see what was actually if we can get a little zoom in on what was actually said in that thing, because you know what, you're most likely right, but I want to see it too. AJ says, Amber's crazy, but I'm interested in her train wreck of a life as long as it doesn't involve Leah. You know what? I think that's fair enough, because I will tell you guys, and I did just finish editing my recap for the last episode. There's not that much going on, because they heavily focused on Macy, Ashley, Mackenzie, and Brianna, and their drama just does not compare to this kind of drama. You know what I mean? So yeah, it is true that we do need these kinds of dramatic, kind of toxic people on the show, unfortunately, for interest's sake, right? Monica says the most exciting thing Amber had in her storyline was her man running away. And I do agree. How iconic was that? I would love to have Gary here on the channel to talk about that entire process, what it was like to be with Amber, what it was like to run away from Amber. Anything he can mention, I want to know, because that is absolutely insane.